A terrible storm had risen without warning. The sea, once calm, had turned into a furious beast. A small wooden boat carrying a group of students on a school field trip battled waves that seemed to rise like walls. Panic spread. Lara, Miguel, and Sofia clung to the edges of the boat while their teacher shouted over the wind. Thunder cracked the sky and lightning split the darkness. The vessel groaned, cracked, and shattered. The children screamed as they were thrown into the icy water, separated by the chaos, fighting to stay afloat in the middle of a merciless ocean. As the wreckage scattered across the water, the storm showed no mercy. The children, now alone in the vast sea, tried to grab onto what they could: broken wood, backpacks, life vests. Sofia drifted farther, her eyes wide with fear, while Lara managed to cling to a floating bench. Miguel still had his waterproof camera strapped to his chest even though his hands were numb. "Help!" someone yelled, but the sound was swallowed by the storm. Hope faded with each minute. The cold crept into their bones, and just as the last light seemed to disappear, a shape moved beneath the waves, enormous, silent, watching. Suddenly, a powerful whoosh broke through the wind. An immense black and white figure surfaced. An orca. Her dorsal fin stood tall, cutting the water like a blade. But there was no threat in her eyes. She circled the children, slow and purposeful, as if counting them. The students were frozen, unsure whether to fear or trust her. Sofia's head bobbed dangerously near the waves. And then, to everyone's amazement, the orca nudged her gently toward a larger piece of debris. She did the same for Miguel and another boy nearby. It was like she understood. She wasn't there to hurt them. She was there to save them. The orca stayed with them. She herded the children like a protector, pushing debris together so they could cling to something stable. Each time one drifted too far, she gently guided them back. The ocean still roared, but it no longer seemed as deadly. The orca created a safe zone, swimming in circles around them, keeping the group together, warming their spirits with her presence. Lara stared into the animal's eye and felt something stir, something ancient and deep. She whispered, "She's not just an animal. She knows." And the orca, as if responding, let out a soft click. Hours passed. Rescue helicopters, alerted by nearby fishermen who had seen the storm, finally arrived. From above, rescuers spotted the orca's pattern circling the floating wreckage and realized someone must still be alive. They dropped flares, ropes, and began the recovery. As each student was pulled from the water, the orca remained close. Lara was one of the last to be rescued. As she rose in the air, strapped to a harness, she looked down and locked eyes with the orca. Through the rain, she mouthed, "Thank you." The orca gave one last spin and slipped beneath the surface. The next day, the story exploded across the world. Orca saved students from shipwreck. News outlets ran interviews. Experts analyzed the behavior, and people debated whether the creature acted from instinct or something more. Miguel posted the blurry photo he took, a shadow of the orca protecting the children, and it went viral. The students gave her a name, Nara, meaning companion of the sea. Scientists were amazed. But the children didn't need studies or theories. They had lived it. And they knew Nara had chosen to help. Weeks later, Lara insisted on visiting the coast again. Miguel and Sofia came too. They left a blue ribbon with their names tied to a rock as a sign of thanks. Then, just as they were about to leave, a splash echoed across the shore. A dorsal fin rose. It was Nara. She leapt high into the air and crashed down with a wave of joy. The children laughed, cried, and ran into the shallow water. She remembered them, and she had come back. From that day on, a bond was born. Every time Lara, Miguel, and Sofia returned to that beach, Nara appeared. She'd leap, spin, and click as if talking. The children brought fish, toys, even music. Nara responded with playful circles and sounds. The three teens spoke to her like a friend, and she answered, not in words but in actions. Biologists observed in awe but couldn't explain the connection. Nara was still wild yet loyal, free but deeply connected to those she had saved. The three built a memorial by the coast. Trees were planted, photos from the field trip and the rescue were placed in a waterproof shrine. Lara left letters on the rocks. Sophia began writing a book. Miguel, now with better equipment, filmed each reunion. What began as a tragedy had become something beautiful. A community of people drawn to the coast came to learn, to witness, and to believe. Nara had changed lives far beyond that storm. Time passed. Lara became a marine biologist. Miguel pursued photography. Sophia published her book, The Guardian of the Sea. Though their paths diverged, they kept the promise made on the wreck, returned to Nara whenever possible, and she almost magically never failed to appear. Even on gray days, her fin would rise through the water. They knew she recognized them, and each visit was as breathtaking as the first. Nara became a legend. Documentaries, scientists, and tourists came from all over. But Nara never changed. She stayed away from strangers. She came only when the trio returned. Some called it a miracle. Others said it was spiritual. But for the three friends, it was simple, a real friendship. They had learned to listen to the ocean, to respect it, all thanks to the heart of a creature who had once chosen to stay. Years passed. Nara began to appear less frequently. Her movements slowed. Lara noticed first. Sophia cried while writing her second book. Miguel filmed every moment, aware that each visit might be the last. They decided to honor her with a final celebration. All the survivors were invited. Photos, music, candles. And Nara came. Slower, but with the same grace. That night, Nara swam close to shore. She lifted her head, let out a long call, and turned gently. The grown-up children clapped and cried. It was a goodbye, not of sadness, but of love. She made one final jump, a spin in the air that lit the water with spray. Then she vanished beneath the surface and did not return. The world mourned. Lara dedicated her life to protecting whales. Sophia wrote Nara's Final Dance. Miguel held a photography exhibit titled Eyes That Save. A bronze statue was placed on the beach. And today, those who pass by hear stories told by the waves. They learn of the orca who chose to love, to protect, and to stay. Some say that on silent nights a call can still be heard from the sea. Children leave flowers near the rock with the blue ribbon. Lara, now old, walks with her grandchildren pointing to the horizon. Out there lived a friend, she says, one who saved my life. And when the sun sets, casting silver on the waves, it feels like Nara is still there, watching, guarding, living on in every heart that believes courage knows no species.